This is the final class of the chapter limits and derivatives, and today we are going to discuss some standard derivatives, and also we are going to talk about the algebra of derivatives. So let us begin. We begin with the standard derivatives. Now, standard derivatives means these are certain formulas like the standard limits which we can use without any proof or without solving them. So you already have done this in your physics classes, I guess. So it will be just a repetition of all those things, but in a little bit more in details. So the first one, ddx of x to the power n, any power of n need not be integer, it can be fraction as well. So ddx of x to the power n, that is equals to n into x to the power n minus 1. Well, obviously n should not be equals to 0. That is something which is pretty much clear. If n becomes 0, then it will become constant, then the whole thing will be becoming 0. So here I must add to this that n not equals to 0. This must be added. Fine. Next, ddx of e to the power x. Now e to the power x is the standard base or the natural base. So e to the power x derivative, it remains unchanged, it is e to the power x only. Then ddx of log x, that is 1 by x. ddx of a to the power x is a to the power x into log a, obviously a greater than 0. Then ddx of sin x, that is equals to cos x. ddx of cos x is minus sin x. ddx of tan x is sec square x. Cot x is minus cos x square x. Sec x is sec x tan x. Cosec x is minus cosec x cot x, and derivative of a constant is 0. So therefore that is the reason why we need to have the n in the first case to be non-zero. If it becomes 0, then it will become a constant, and hence the derivative becomes 0, but that is not the case. So these are the few standard derivatives. Now there are more, obviously, but all those will come later in the sense in class 12 you will learn few more, but for class 11 these are the standard derivatives which we are going to make use of. So now let us move to the algebra. Now algebra means whenever I have more than one derivative along with some mathematical operation, how to deal with that. So let us have u and v be two functions of x, and then the derivative of the sum is equals to sum of the derivatives. Similarly, the difference of the derivative of the difference is equals to difference of the derivatives. Then for product, obviously you could have thought that it should be product of the derivatives, but not the case. Here you have to consider one as fixed, you have to do the derivative of the other, plus the one which you have already considered fixed, you have to do the derivative of that function considering the other as fixed. So this is multiplication rule of derivative, a little bit different from that of limits. And finally we have the division. Now in case of division, it is a little bit complicated, not that complicated once you get used to it, but at the beginning it may seem a little bit complicated. So what you have, the denominator times numerator, derivative of numerator, minus numerator times the derivative of denominator, whole divided by the square of the denominator. So remember it like that, so that will be easy for you to remember. So denominator into derivative of numerator minus numerator into derivative of denominator divided by denominator square. And finally we have Derivative of a constant times a function. So what happens? The constant comes outside the derivative and only you have the derivative of the function. Fine. That's it. Now all we need to do is take up problems and solve. To begin with, the first one, find the derivative of x by 2 plus 2 by x. Now obviously this is very simple derivative, but I will just break you down the steps which you need not do once you understand, but for the beginning let me just break you through the steps. So y is equals to x by 2 plus 2 by x. So when you are trying to do the derivative, you are doing ddx of the whole thing. Now you can see there is an addition, so you can separate out the addition. So therefore ddx of x by 2 plus ddx of 2 by x. Now x by 2 is basically, now half is a constant, comes outside, and x means x to the power 1, and 2 by x, 2 is a constant, comes outside, 1 by x means x to the power minus 1. So now if you do the derivative using the formula, it becomes 1 into x to the power 1 minus 1, and here x to the power minus 1, it will be minus 1 into x to the power minus 1 minus 1. So therefore the answer is half minus 2 x to the power minus 2, or that is equals to half minus 2 by x square. Now obviously you need not do all these steps. These are the steps just to make you understand how derivative works right at the beginning, at the initial stage. Once you get used to it, you can definitely jump to the answer directly for a smaller problem like this, obviously, but if there are more bigger and more complicated problems, you have to show some of the steps. Now let us move to question number 2. 4 root x minus 2. So 4 root x minus 2, once again I am just going to take you through the steps without much explanation, as you can see. Now obviously derivative of constant is 0, and root x means x to the power half. So therefore it becomes half into x to the power half minus 1. So that becomes 4 into the whole thing. So therefore 2 into x to the power minus half, or that is 2 by root x. I hope this is clear. This is very simple derivative to begin with. Now let us move to number 3. X to the power minus 3 into 5 plus 3x. So you start off with x to the power minus 3 into 5 plus 3x. Now multiply it. So if you multiply it, it becomes 5 into x to the power minus 3 plus 3 into x to the power minus 2. And now if you do the derivative, it becomes minus 3 into x to the power minus 4 and minus 2 into x to the power minus 3. Calculate, you get the answer. That is minus 15 by x to the power 4 and minus 6 by x to the power. Oh, I'm sorry. This should be only 3. This should be only 3. So I just made a mistake. Please ensure you correct it. Fine. Next. Number 4. 3x cube minus 5 into 5x to the power 5 minus 2x. Now you can see there is a product of two functions, two different separate functions. So we begin with this, then obviously while taking derivative, this is what I get. Now obviously consider the first one as u and consider the second one as v. So consider this as your u and consider this as v. So ddx of uv is u into dv dx plus v into du dx. So therefore the next step is going to be something like this. Keep one fixed, do the derivative of the other, and then again keep the other fixed, do the derivative of the first one. So if you do the derivative of the, I'm not explaining how to do the derivative anymore, because it is now, by the time now, it is pretty understood. So now I have to just go on doing the calculation and simplify and write the final answer. So after calculation, after doing the multiplication, this is what I get. And then if I do the simplification, this is my final answer. Fine. Just try it once by yourself and I'm sure you will be able to do it. Number 5, 4 sin x minus 3 cos x plus x. So we begin with 4 sin x minus 3 cos x plus x. So when we are doing the derivative, so sin x derivative is cos x derivative is minus sin x, and x derivative is 1. So therefore your final answer becomes 4 cos x plus 3 sin x plus 1. Simple enough. Next, number 6, find the derivative of cosec x into cot x. So again, the same thing, we start off with cosec x cot x, we do the derivative. Now this is in product form, so again we apply the product rule of derivative. So derivative of cot x is minus cosec square x, and derivative of cosec x is minus cosec x cot x. So therefore this is what we have. We multiply and we simplify, and this is your final answer. So keep your answer like this. You need not go on simplifying it any further. You can just leave your answer here. Next, number 7. Now this is a case of division. So we have to make use of the division rule of derivative. Now before we begin with the division rule, let me first multiply the numerator, because we don't want to keep too many terms. If we keep too many terms, then what will happen? We will have to do more derivatives, so which we don't want. We don't want to do that many extra calculations. So therefore I just multiplied the numerator to keep it simple. Now when we are doing the derivative, so ddx of this, now remember how to do the derivative. So it will be the denominator times the derivative of numerator minus numerator times derivative of denominator divided by the denominator square. So this is what I get. Right, now we have to do the derivative. So 6x square plus x minus 1, the derivative is 12x plus 1, and x plus 5 derivative is 1. Now next job will be to do our calculation and simplify. So if we do the simplification, we get this as your final answer. So that is 6 into x square plus 60x plus 6 by x plus 5 whole square, or you can take the 6 common and write it as 6 into x square plus 10x plus 1 by x plus 5 whole square. Number 8, x sin x by 1 plus cos x. Similar problem to begin with. So again we are doing the derivative, so x sin x by 1 plus cos x. So follow the quotient rule, denominator into numerator's derivative minus numerator into denominator's derivative by denominator square. Now x sin x, it is again in product form, so I have to do the derivative first. So derivative of x sin x is x cos x plus sin x. This is what I get. Derivative of this is basically this, and then derivative of 1 plus cos x is minus sin x. So that minus multiplied with the minus in between becomes plus. So this is what we have. Now our job will be to simplify this whole thing out. So if we just simplify it out, just carry on with the calculation, multiply everything, take things common. If you take things common, this is what you get. 1 plus cos x comes out as common. So 1 plus cos x is also there in the numerator. Cancel it out. You get your final answer as x plus sin x by 1 plus cos x. Right? So the main thing is that your derivative calculation, if you just see, your derivative calculation is finished in this step only. The rest of the steps are basically your algebraic calculations. So all those algebraic and trigonometrical calculations you have to do to ensure that you get a simplified answer. So you can't leave your answer at this very step, because it is too complicated and cumbersome to leave your answer here. So ensure you simplify it and reach a step where no further simplification is possible. Fine. Now let us move to the last question, question number 9. Now here it is a little bit different type of question. The question is rather a proving question instead of a finding question. Question is given, if y is equals to x plus 1 by x, prove that x square dy dx minus xy plus 2 is equals to 0. So let us begin with y equals to x plus 1 by x. Now if y is equals to x plus 1 by x, then taking LCM and simplifying, I can write this as xy is equals to x square plus 1. So consider this as number 1. Just mark it as number 1. Keep it. We will be requiring it later. Now let us do what? Let us start off with this very thing and let us do the derivative. So if I do the derivative here, dy by dx is equals to 1 minus 1 by x square. We can see it y. Then let us take the LCM and side transpose. So if I do so, this is what I get. X square dy dx is equals to x square minus 1. Now x square minus 1, I can write it as x square plus 1 minus 2. So I am adding 1 and subtracting 1. So x square plus 1, this whole thing is basically xy. So I can write it here as xy. So I am writing it here xy. And now I take it all on one side, and if I do so, I get my final answer. Correct? So basically, this is how you solve the problems based on derivatives. Now you have to be a little bit careful with the calculation, particularly whenever you are having a quotient form, that is u by v form. If you have this u by v form, you have to do a calculation little bit. But once you go on doing it, I'm pretty sure you will be able to understand. So thank you so much. This ends the chapter.